Welcome to today's weekly Forex forecast where we absolutely dominate the Forex market. Enjoy. So this is Euro US dollar daily time frame. We have a nice supported area. We also have a downtrend over here. So we have all four moving averages below the candlesticks. This shows bullish pressure. So on the 4-hour time frame, we had that nice push towards the upside and an exhaustion towards the downside. We haven't yet broken the 50 moving average, and we can see a form of rejection of this red candlestick. We could potentially aim for a trade towards the upside around 140, 120 pips. However, you don't have to cover the higher period moving averages, only the 50 and 20. So you could potentially aim for a little bit smaller stop loss around maybe 50 to 60 pips. You could potentially aim for that top of the trend line resistance, and if we would be looking for a short trade, we really need to break the 100 and 200 moving averages on the 4-hour time frame. But that's not the only obstacle we would have. If we have a look at the daily time frame, unless we manage to break all the 3 moving averages plus this area of support, then I would be convinced for a nice entry towards the downside to potentially enter the trade and aim for a nice bounce of the 200 moving average, but it's not likely to happen. Okay, GBP US dollar, the weekly time frame, we have a strong downtrend over here. This is what the daily time frame looks like. 2 moving averages over here, kind of in a consolidation, nothing to really see here. On the 4-hour time frame, we are in a bullish channel moving towards the upside every single time, currently getting an exhaustion back to the 50 moving average and pretty strong area of support, I would say. So we could potentially aim for around 90 pips, maybe 120 if we want to bounce off that weekly downtrend as well. Unless we break the 50 moving average, then it could start a slight downtrend. However, we do have the 2 moving averages nearby, so this area space over here wouldn't give you the best risk reward. Plus the daily moving averages are nearby, so even if we do get a break towards the downside, we might get a solid rejection and go back up. So scary thing to do. If you want to sell GBP USD, I would rather wait for a buying confirmation and kind of retest that previous top level. Okay, so USD Japanese yen, we have a strong weekly area of support over here. As you can see, there's still space for movement. So if we just have a look, price still around 300 pips. If it continues moving towards the downside, we can see that nice little trend over here. Potentially we could retest this previous area low. This is what the daily time frame looks like. Broke the 50 and 20 moving averages, beautiful. And the 4-hour time frame is clearly trending towards the downside, a nice little bearish channel as well. So what we're looking for is maybe a push towards the upside in between the 20 and 50 moving averages. A nice little rejection candlestick, maybe a shooting start for a continuation or push towards the downside. I mean, it covers the 2 moving averages that we want. We could aim for a nice little trade, 3-to-1 risk reward. You could potentially even aim for that weekly low for a nice 5-to-1 risk reward as well. Okay, USDCAD, clear W formation over here. We had a slight little rejection, but we are still trending towards the upside. On the 4-hour time frame, we had that squeeze, and then we had a solid break just off here, push, exhaustion back towards the 3 moving averages. So even the 1-hour time frame is trending towards the upside, so you could potentially long this position just over here for a nice 3-to-1 risk reward. Definitely great. Maybe make it a little bit lower just to be safe, so 2.5 risk reward. You could potentially aim for that 1-hour time frame previous top level, or go to the 4-hourly time frame and basically aim for that previous top level of resistance. This would give you great risk reward, and it's a great trade to potentially look out for. Please make sure to enter only on candlestick confirmations, otherwise the trade is invalid. So USD Swiss franc had a nice push exhaustion scenario, bearish engulfing candlestick went towards the downside, currently on the slight pullback just over here. As you can see, we actually took this trade with our VIP members, totally smashed it. Currently pulling back now. Potentially there could be a continuation or move towards the downside once again. If we get a nice bearish engulfing candlestick in between the 20 and 50 moving averages, that would be great. Or you could be bouncing off the 200 and 100 moving averages as well. So if it's going to be around the 200 and 100 moving averages, that could be even a better break. As you can see, a nice little 186 pips. Take profit, 2.3 risk reward. Okay, monthly and weekly time frames are trending down. This is the daily time frame. As you can see, in between the 20 and 50 moving averages. It actually managed to close as a bearish engulfing candlestick. This is a great confirmation for further bearish pressure, although it hasn't broken the 20 moving average just yet, and the 4-hour time frame is still on this little uptrend. However, I do expect a break just over here. Once we break the 100 moving average, nice bearish engulfing candlestick, push exhaustion scenario, enter just over here to potentially go back towards the downside to retest this previous bottom. If we short this position, as you can see, it would give you a nice little 2.1 risk reward. It would also cover all the moving averages with a very small stop loss level. So this is a great trade to take. So Aussie US dollar monthly and weekly are trending towards the downside nicely. Daily time frame just over here, nice little squeeze pattern. We can just add this little area of support over here. So the 4-hour time frame, you could say we were on this little channel over here. I do believe that it has been broken now. It also made the new low as well. This is great confirmation for further bearish pressure. So it's a very simple scenario. We can't enter here because the move has already happened. We need that pullback towards the 3 moving averages just over here for a potential short trade. Would cover most of the moving averages. You could potentially even aim to cover the 200 moving average on the 4-hour time frame, and potentially for further profits 2 to 1 to 3 to 1 even, because on the monthly and weekly time frame we still have a lot of space to move towards the downside. So this 4-hour support is nothing. I expect a move, an exhaustion, and then we are going back down to retest this bottom. If we break, we continue on. So beautiful little trade. I will definitely be looking at it next week as well. Don't miss it. So gold US dollar, kind of simple. Monthly time frame going up, weekly going up as well. Daily time frame, as you can see, push exhaustion, push scenario, and this is where some of you have entered a nice little trade, pushed towards the upside, made a lot of money, pulled back, and then look, we had a bullish engulfing candlestick of the 50 moving average, went towards the upside once again to retest the previous top level. It did make a new high on the 4-hour time frame, but this is not a great confirmation just yet to continue moving towards the upside, because we have to break it on the higher time frames as well. So what are the 2 potential plays for next week? Well, if we manage to break the 2 moving averages towards the downside, we could potentially aim for that daily area of moving averages just off here. That could potentially be around 8,000 point move, maybe a little bit lower, because we do have the 100 moving average just off here on the 4-hourly time frame. So let's say maybe 4,000 points move would be a little bit more logical. However, we do want to trade with the trend, so I would like to personally see a strong push towards the upside, breaking past these 2 levels, and exhaustion back towards this previous area sensitivity. So if we have a look at the daily time frame, as you can see, a 7,000 to 6,000 point move has happened before. If we zoom in, we can see a nice push exhaustion back towards the downside. It happened over here as well, push exhaustion, and it looks like it could happen again, push exhaustion back down. This is also promising because on the daily time frame it made a new high as well, which shows more further bullish pressure.